All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh alongside Gene Collier, and if you need a roof, make sure you call Ireland Contracting.
Everybody needs a roof, Rich.
Best in the business, 1-800-NEW ROOF is the number. They're #1 in Pittsburgh. Gene, they not only do roofs.
No.
They do a lot.
Siding.
Gutters.
Windows. Yep.
They do it all.
Dog grooming.
Make sure you call Ireland Contracting. 1-800-NEW ROOF. I got a tweet here. RJ Toko just tweeted me. All that product for your hair is making me delusional. Actually, I didn't even really put any product in my hair.
It's making him delusional?
It's making him delusional. Or it's making me delusional. I don't know. It's making everyone delusional, but I don't have a lot of product in my hair. All right, here we go.
Neither do I.
PA Rams 59, 9 games out of first place. Fairly easy to make up. Are there any pitchers comparable to Koufax that can be acquired? I don't think so. And even if there were, the Pirates would be the last team trying to get them.
Yeah, maybe they'll swing that big deadline deal for Kershaw. Maybe they'll take Sean Rodriguez for him and a prospect. What do you think?
There's some people out there that would think that would be a good trade. Just trade Sean Rodriguez.
Every night on their
maybe like throwing one of those bullpen arms that they got, like a Feliz. That's a pretty good deal for Kershaw. All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We got Clint out in Altoona. What's up, Clint?
Not much. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm going to ask about a couple of players. One former Pirate, one Pirate right now. Jose Batista, of course, we just seen him with the Mets here. If the Pirates would have kept him and he would have been their everyday third baseman, do you think he would have produced, hit all those home runs for the Pirates like he did for Toronto? That's my first question. The second one is Gregory Polanco. Now, you mentioned at the beginning of the show he's getting hot now and everything. Do you think he's another Pedro Alvarez? Because I remember when Pedro got hot, man, he was hot for like a few weeks and could carry the team for a while. But then, when he went a slump, he went a bad slump, and it was terrible. So I just want to hear your comments on that, and I'll let you go.
Comparing him to Pedro Alvarez, maybe you got a point there. I mean, both are bad defensively, but he doesn't hit the home runs that Pedro Alvarez hit. I mean, Gregory Polanco is just a streaky player. He goes through these streaks, kind of like Connor Sherry, and we were just talking about him in hockey. But Jose Batista, no way would he have done what he did in Toronto that he didn't do here in Pittsburgh. And I think the Pirates traded him away because he needed a new start. I mean, he was underperforming here and he was underwhelming here, and he turned things around in Toronto.
I always liked him here. He started out as an outfielder. He had a great arm from right field. I wish they'd been more patient with him, but I mean, when they cut ties with him, I didn't criticize them because just nothing happened for him.
Yeah.
Gregory Polanco, by the way, is nowhere near as good a player as Pedro Alvarez.
You're probably right with that, Gene.
Who's the last guy to hit 30 homers and drive in 100 runs here? Pedro Alvarez. Gregory Polanco's never going to do that.
He's never going to see 30 home runs.
He's never going to drive in 100.
Yeah,
He's never going to play. Really,
you're right.
Pedro Alvarez was a good third baseman. He developed a bad habit with his throwing, obviously, and he wasn't a great first baseman. But he was a pretty athletic player. He was a much better player than Gregory Polanco, in my opinion.
And you know what? You make that point, and I think it's really good. I think mentally is what affected Pedro Alvarez. He couldn't get over that.
Put a lot of pressure on himself.
Yes, and it's kind of like the Marc-Andre Fleury thing. I mean, if he could have fixed that, he probably would have been the player that we saw there. And what was that, 2014? Was that his big year,
13,
I think? 13? One of those 2 years. But, I think he, just like you said, he put a lot of pressure on himself. I think the Pirates are hoping Gregory Polanco could be that guy. But I think the Gregory Polanco you see this year and you saw last year is the Gregory Polanco we're going to get for the next how many years until he puts on another uniform. All right, back out to the phone lines. Let's go out to Matt out in Butler. How you doing, Matt?
Hey, guys. Maybe we could go to Ireland Contracting, see if they could find us some relief pitching, maybe some bats.
Maybe they do that, yeah.
Maybe Ireland Contracting can make a pitcher.
Yeah, who knows?
We should call them. Go ahead.
Hey, I think you commented last night, and I agree with it tonight. So they take 2 or 3 from the Mets. They simply don't have the horses to compete in this race for either the divisional or for a wild card. They just don't have it. They're not going to be able to trade for enough. There's too many holes. And the team, when it hits, is very streaky. Polanco is not the only one. There's a number that are of them that are streaky hitters, and they might score, in the 9th inning tonight, but there could be 2 or 3 games where we go silent. They're going to trade away some of their team, which is probably a good thing. I simply don't think they're in a position to compete now again for years until maybe you catch lightning in a bottle like we did for a couple years in a row, and see if that happens every 2 years out of 20. But that's where it's at, and they're not going to invest in the team.
Yeah, I agree with you. And to put things into perspective right now, they're 5 games out of the second wild card spot. Thanks for your call. There's 10 teams ahead of them right now. There's only 4 teams behind them. They have no chance. I mean, it's just unrealistic to talk about them making the postseason this year. We had high hopes in April. They had a pretty, I don't want to say easy schedule, favorable schedule, but it's not going to happen, and they're not going to make the trades that happen. I just wish, at the trade deadline, they do sell off these guys and try to get younger players in here, maybe pitchers, whatever, that can help this team in 2 years, and come out and say, hey, we're aiming for 2 years from now. That's not going to happen, but I wish that would happen.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything in what you said or the caller said that I disagree with, except that I thought we agreed we were not going to discuss the wild card on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Until September 15th.
We did agree to that yesterday.
Okay.
I just the standings, and I was all fired up that people think it's realistic, but they have 10 teams ahead of them. 10 teams ahead of them. They're the 5th worst team in the National League right now.
September 15th, the night before the Steelers play Kansas City in the home opener. That's when we'll take wild card
Okay,
questions.
September 15th. Okay. I'm going to write it down.
Down.
All right. Coming up next, more phone calls. 412-575-2600 is the number. Also taking some tweets at Richie Walsh. Also, we got the sizzling shot from Hillcrest Country Club coming up in the next segment. All that and more coming up next. Stay right there.